I don't know what Stephanie White's doing exactly. I don't have a clue. Again, I don't know what the identity of this team is. I really don't. It seems like they play a different way every game. One could say, well, that's her game plan. She's game planning for each team. How's that working out for you? You got to win games like this. If you're going to compete for titles, you've got to win games like this. She has got to realize Caitlin Clark is her biggest playmaker. And when the fourth quarter gets there, she's got to quit taking the GD ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands.
I think I have figured out the solution to the Indiana Fever's problems. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. This is what we got to do. We got to put Caitlin Clark off ball. We need to run a motion offense. So when the defense takes away what Caitlin Clark does best, we have other players that can still perform. So when she does have bad games, we're not completely dead in the water. I think that is the best way to move forward with this Indiana Fever team.
Okay, enough is enough. What we just witnessed wasn't a loss. It was a total collapse. The Indiana Fever had the game in their hands and dropped it like a hot potato. Caitlin Clark was out there fighting for her life, while Stephanie White just stood there, arms crossed, watching it all burn.
Watching it all burn.
Becky Hammond makes adjustments. Stephanie White adjusts her arms. Becky Hammond makes in-game adjustments. Stephanie White makes arms crossed to arms folded adjustments.
Where are the plays? Where are the adjustments? This team looks lost, confused, and straight up unserious. And don't even get me started on that so-called motion offense. If slipping every screen and praying Caitlin saves the day is the game plan, then we're in trouble. You want to know what's really wrong with the Fever? Good. Let's talk about it.
One of the big highlights for Caitlin Clark, this was her against Asia Wilson, pulling up for a long three right in Asia's face. That was nice. It was. No doubt about it. Right here, I saw this. The Indiana Fever, this was in the first half. They were 8 of 11 from the field off of Caitlin Clark passes. All other field goal attempts, 6 of 19. So if Caitlin Clark's not distributing the ball, hell, this team can't score.
You could literally
practically feel it slipping away right through your screen. That 10-point lead disappeared like it had never existed. And the worst part, it didn't even feel like the Aces won that game. It felt like the Fever just gave it away, like they handed it over with a thank you card and a bow on top. Meanwhile, Coach Stephanie White stood there with her arms crossed, watching the whole thing collapse like a Jenga tower. No timeouts when they mattered. No energy on the sideline. No sense of urgency. Where's the fire? Where's the leadership? Seriously, how many blown leads do we have to watch before someone finally calls it out? Are we just going to keep pretending everything is fine? Because it's clearly not. You've heard all the hype about this so-called motion offense the Fever were promoting, right? So where is it? Because what I'm seeing isn't motion. It's confusion in sneakers. They look like they're running pickup ball at the local rec center. No off-ball screens for Caitlin. No flare screens. No staggered actions. Nothing. They're just kind of drifting around, hoping Caitlin Clark will turn into a superhero and bail them out. That's not an offense. That's wishful thinking. And let's talk about Aaliyah Boston. She scored 18 points in the first half. Dominant, smooth, like she was about to have a career night. But what did Becky Hammond do at halftime? She adjusted. She switched every screen, took away the easy layups, and problem solved. What did Stephanie White do to counter it? Nothing. Caitlin Clark is doing everything short of mopping the floor herself. Let's be honest, sure, she shot 7 for 20 and just 1 for 10 from 3. But have you seen the shots she's forced to take? Off balance, heavily contested, and of shot clock desperation heaves. And somehow, she still finishes with 19 points and 11 assists. How? She's setting everyone up. Aaliyah gets fed, Mitchell gets looks, even Howard gets touches. But when Clark needs a bucket, crickets. Nobody sets a screen. Nobody cuts with any purpose. Nobody seems to care. cuts with purpose. Nobody seems to care about getting their star an open shot. It's like they're all waiting for her to pull a miracle out of thin air every possession. Why isn't Coach White designing anything for Caitlin to get an easy rhythm? Look, why isn't the offense flowing through her instead of around her? It's like they don't realize they have how much longer. Do you think Clark can keep carrying this squad by herself? All right, let's talk about the weirdest rotation move of the night. Brianna Turner out of nowhere checks in during a tight game like we've been watching her drop 20-10 every night. Spoiler, she hasn't done much of anything. And what happens the second she gets in turnover, miss assignments, blocked at the rim? I mean, yikes, Caitlin's literally yelling at her, get to the elbow. Like this is her first practice. And here's the kicker, Danis, who's still available, doesn't play a single minute, zero zip nada. So what was the plan here? Build Turner's confidence in a nationally televised game, reward bad practice, effort, make a point, whatever it was it cost. The Fever big time, you tell me, are we just throwing darts at a rotation chart? Now remember how all offseason hype was we got depth now. This is the deepest Fever roster we've had in years, yeah. About that 2 bench points. That at 2 Sophie Cunningham, 0 Sydney Carlson, 0 no spark, no energy, just ghost town. It's like we brought 5 chairs to a gunfight. Meanwhile, AC's bench players are making plays, shifting momentum, giving their starters rest, and we've got Clark playing superhero for 38 minutes while the bench watches like fans. Where's the development? Where's the coaching that builds role players into contributors? Where's the next up mentality? It's not depth. If you can't trust anyone past your top 3, and right now the Fever's bench is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine, be honest, do you feel confident in anyone on this bench? Let's just get this out of the way. Blaming the refs ain't it yet. Caitlin gets hit a lot with no call. We see it every game, but in this one, the Fever didn't shoot a single free throw in the entire first half. You know why? Because at Intact, they didn't earn them. This team plays like it's allergic to contact, hanging out at the 3-point line, swing passage, no drives, no physicality, just perimeter play, and hope you want calls that got to force the issue. That's what A'ja Wilson did. That's what Kelsey Plum does. You go into the trees, draw the foul, and force the refs to make a decision. Instead, the Fever were passive, and that's why they didn't get whistles. So no, we're not blaming the Stripes today. This one's on the Fever, all of it I need. Y'all to really think about this one is Caitlin Clark being overcoached, because the version of her we're seeing now, it's not the fearless, confident shoot from the logo assassin we knew at Iowa. She's hesitating, passing up shots, looking over to the bench before every possession. That's not instincts, that's interference. It feels like she's being micromanaged into submission, like she's got a voice in her ear saying, don't shoot that, run the play, stick to the script, and it's taking away everything that made her dangerous. You can coach structure without killing creativity, but right now it feels like she's in a system that doesn't trust her to be herself. How long can she play like this before it breaks her spirit? Let's call it like it is. Becky Hammond coached this game, Stephanie White. She watched it. When the Aces got hit early, Becky made moves, switched coverages, rotated players, amped up pressure. She coached Stephanie. She stuck with the same lineups, same scheme, same broken plays, as if hoping repetition would magically lead to results. Even when the Fever lost momentum, she didn't call timeout until it was too late. Even when the lead vanished, she stayed calm, almost too calm, like she didn't believe anything needed fixing. You want to know why the Fever lose close games? This is why the other coach is working. White is watching. Do you think Stephanie White is out her depth here? So here we are, another blown lead, another wasted effort, another night where the same lazy patterns and coaching blunders robbed this team of a win they should have had in the bag. Let's not sugarcoat it. Caitlin Clark isn't just another talented young player anymore. She's a generational player, the fastest to 400 assists in WNBA history, a marketing machine, a ratings booster player who fills arenas on the road and brings eyes to the game. And how are the Fever treating her? Like she's just another piece, like she'll just keep grinding it out while everything else crumbles around her. How long is she supposed to do it all by herself? Seriously, how long is she expected to keep smiling in interviews and dragging this team to the finish line with no plays drawn for her, no real support off the bench, and no structure around her? Because these aren't just L's piling up in the standings, these are red flags waving loud, and clear the clock is ticking. And if they don't course correct fast, this won't just be a losing season, it'll be the year they lose Caitlin. So I'll leave you with this. Does this organization have the courage to admit they're failing her, or are they just going to let the house burn while their star player screams for help? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and hit subscribe.